When we first brought Manito to Rescue Me's Animal Rehabilitation Center, he quickly learned how to jump over or climb over 6-foot-tall fences. We had to come up with a method to keep him safely contained, and I'm going to show you what we did today. In order to keep Manito in his fenced area, we got a pet-safe pet containment system, but we installed it a bit differently than usual. Normally with a system like this, you bury a wire underground to keep the animals within a certain perimeter. But in our case, we just want to use it to keep animals from climbing or jumping over a fence. So instead, we took the wire that comes with the system and we attached it to the top of the fence. I'm just using a zip tie here to make sure it stays up there securely. And then we attach this along the entire perimeter of the fenced area that we're keeping the dog in. So there are a few things you need to be careful of. For example, when we have a gate, we just run the wire up a little higher and over the gate opening. So the gate can still open and close, but the perimeter is safely protected. So here we have the wire leaving the building. It goes around the perimeter, comes back, and then where it enters into the building, we wrap it around itself. And that will keep it from triggering Manito's collar. That cancels out the signal in those areas, so it's not triggering in the building or where the wire has to go to a lower height. The way the system works, Manito will wear the special collar. It picks up the signal from the wire that we just installed. If Manito's collar gets too close to it, it'll put out some warning beeps. If he gets even closer, it'll give him a small static electricity correction. It's just the same as if you walked across a carpet and you touched a light switch and got a little shock. Not enough to hurt him at all, but just enough to get his attention and keep him from jumping out of that fence. It's very important that you calibrate this right so it puts out the right amount of signal, because when you're down here, you don't want it to signal and beep or give him a shock when he's just walking around where he should. But as he goes up in height, if you start climbing the fence, it'll start giving a little beep. And then if it goes up even higher, it goes into a special sound, and that's where it's giving him the correction. As soon as we come back down, the beeps stop. And so as long as he stays in his confined area, walks around, he can even jump up on the fence a little bit, it'll be fine. But if we set the distance just right, it'll only correct when he goes up too high. I've got the boundary width here set to 6.5. Your setting may be different depending on the amount of wire you have, how tall your fence is, and so forth. But you want to get that boundary width exactly right. You never want the collar to beep or give a correction when the dog is walking around in the areas it's allowed to. It should only beep once the dog starts climbing or trying to jump over the fence, and it should only give a correction at the very top there. So I've got that set just right, and I don't want to lose that setting, so I'm just going to take a piece of electrical tape and tape that down so that knob doesn't get turned. So take the collar and adjust it to your dog's neck size, and then just put it on like any other collar. You want to make sure it's pretty tight though. Not so tight that it makes it hard for him to breathe, but you still want to be able to get 2, maybe 3 fingers under it, but no more than that. Because if it's not on tight enough, the correction system won't work and it defeats the whole purpose. Every few days while he's wearing this, because he's going to have to wear it all the time, we're just going to move the collar around so that it's on hitting different parts of his neck, because we don't want it to get irritated.